amigo? He Gardens1 on Instagram. This is episode 835.1. Of course, it's Monday. It's a Weed Nerd World. Mr. Joel from North Star Genetics popping in here. Everybody got hurt. Everybody went down. Try to get my chat brought around real quick before I get Mr. Joel in here. Episode. That's me. Still no chat. Everybody's building coffins just so they can have their own place. 6 feet deep, getting comfy, just have your own way. Just 1 second, Mr. Joel, if you're watching. Still trying to get my chat popped out here. There we go. What's up, buddy? Kilowatts, Miranda Family Farms. Chat is popped out. So Joel will be popping in. Ah, shit, that's too big. What's up, Val? Okay, that should work. Boys gotta go. Out, 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 out. Alright, Mr. Joel in. Top chat, live chat, please. Miss Kitty playing in the plants. Free for all. What's up, Major? Russian roulette would suit us perfect. Try to get over here to this music. What's up, Mr. Joel? How you doing tonight?
All right, man. I'm a little cookie right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I threw my back out yesterday morning. I've been really freaking sore, so I've been heating padding a bunch of cookies and have a little bit of hash. I figured I'd pop it, have a few puffs of hash, and then probably go back on the heating pad.
That shit's rough, man.
How's it been?
Doing pretty good. Man, I was feeling the back pain like a couple days ago, man. That fucker pops in and out just like crazy. But I can definitely relate, man. And for me, it was RSO for like a day and a half. I had to wedge myself like in the door, in like the hallway archway there with like one of them back blocks. And just had to, I bent just perfect and everything snapped back in there. And I was afraid to move like yesterday. Oh man, I can relate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been scuffling around over for the past like 36 hours. It's ridiculous. My goodness. Actually, it's getting a little bit better today. A little better this afternoon, I should say. This morning was still kind of rough, but it's loosening up a little bit.
Fixing to roll up, I believe, the last of this Blue Dream. What are you smoking on over there?
There's some Buñuelos hash. It's 9120 freeze dried.
Nice. So what do you do? You do edibles? Does that work for your pain at all?
Well, hell yeah. Right now, I'm not. Ow. That didn't feel good. Regular THC cookie type base mainly. I got half one in my V, and they're about maybe $2.50 a piece. So I'm about $120, and then I had a nice hunk off of maybe a quarter, maybe like 30% off an even ratio CBD THC cookie that I make too. I got like maybe say 30 milligrams of CBD and probably like 150 THC. Seemed to trick that and some hash.
Have you ever ate just a hash? Just
eating heads.
Hash? I've heard some people say they get just pretty fucked up by eating little hunks of hash, just chewing up and eating the hash, not even smoking it.
Oh no, that's tough down. I tried using hash and making ice cream. I used real fine, sifted, grind it up a little bit, and still, even then, like when it hits your back of your throat, it burned a little bit. It was kind of rough. Just didn't wasn't palatable. Too strong.
Yeah, I was running a little bit late. I decided for some reason to go fucking running before the show. And shit kicked my ass today, Joel. I'm not gonna lie. A couple of days back to back, fucking feeling it. I had that sore back walk myself earlier, trying to finish up my dinner. Just oh yeah. So my strawberry brulee. What's that?
Say how the plane's still back there.
They're doing good. They are doing good. They need to be flipped, to be honest with you. I need a little bit more space to do some flowering. And yeah, they're ready. They're pushing along too quickly for me. But I got the one strawberry brulee in flower right now. And she's about a week in, and she's looking good. She's fucking beautiful start, nice and green, lots of bud sites. And it hasn't gave me a terrible stretch yet, but it went from 24-hour veg into flower. And I found that especially under vegging under LED, he'll be back, hopefully. I'll wait to finish that until he comes back. Cheers, everybody in chat. There he is. Can you hear me, Mr. Joe?
I got back in.
There you go. I found that taking them plants from a 24-hour veg under them LEDs into flower knocks almost like a fucking week off of flower overall, but you definitely see budding 3 to 5 days earlier minimum, I would say. So
oh man.
them coughs can get you when that back hurts, man. That's some of the worst.
So are you taking clones off anything there? Or you just running stuff through from seed and starting new stuff after?
I've saved a few of everything.
Do that.
So, but right now I'm probably just gonna run through some shit. I've got a lot of stuff backed up that people sent me over the last bit, and I just want to run through some shit. You know what I mean? There's one or two there I'd probably keep a clone of. So far, anything that, well, let's put it this way, Joel. Anything that will go forth and flower, there'll probably be one back anyway. So if I change my mind, I can still probably grab a cut off of something. You know what I mean? Won't be completely lost. But yeah, I plan to fucking just pop so much good stuff to work through. I'm like you. I'm kind of like you, my friend. I got a bunch of stuff that I've wanted to pop over the years, and for one reason or another, when I open up them cases, I can go in with the mindset of I'm gonna grab this, and then I start flipping through the box, and then I'm like, oh, I forgot about you. Wait a minute, maybe. And then sometimes what I went in the box for gets pushed back a little bit further because I found something else along the way.
I got a whole bunch of stuff I really gotta get through. I have a whole bunch of old gooey gear that goes back from these started breeding stuff from breed bay days with some of the sub stuff. Um, shit, like gooey vortex crosses and random shit like that. Some Bigfoot crawls.
Ah, one of the downsides of living on the mountain, I guess.
Hey, got back.
There you are.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so like I said, I got a whole box full of gooey breeder made genetics weren't even ever released. Just a bunch of crosses. You give me a bunch of mixture of stuff. So a lot of it's 20 years old or so, and it's got to be at least 40 different. Got to start getting on that. I mean, there's stuff wasting away. Just so never get a chance to get to everything.
How's the germ rate been?
Hopefully, I can get my ass. Well, I'm usually I keep everything it's in sealed containers. It's in the refrigerator. And all this in the refrigerator is seeds. So uh, usually pretty good. I just germinated the LA Confidential, the Sour Bubble, the Martian Mingrene Super Silver Haze, Super Cantaloupe, and Slee Stack Haze, Slee Stack times Skunk. All of them are between 17 and like 14 years old, and they were solid 80% germ rate on all those seeds, no problem. So I would imagine similar stuff with the stuff from Gooey's gear there. It's pretty reliable germ rate. So I
Do you have a different
yeah,
germination method for like older seeds than you would normally for a fresher batch?
not usually. I just don't get them too warm. Just keep them room temperature, like 75 degrees, 70 degrees, moist. I use paper towels. I do that. Put them in a plastic bag. I can label the bags and keep them all separate in separate bags. Put them all into a tin. Keep them dark. I just stick them down in the veg room because that's usually about ideal temperatures. Took it off from the side.
Is the genetics uh male, female, already predetermined in that seed? Some used to say for a long time that temperature mattered. You know what I mean? And I always kind of thought, it's already determined. But what are your thoughts on that? Is it female or male before? Or does something like that temperature environment change that?
I don't know. Probably predetermined, and the environment supports it or it fucks with it and to be a hermaphrodite. Maybe or some shit like that could be that way too. Get environmental hermaphrodites or. I don't know. I think it's probably predetermined. I would think if it's genetic feature of the plant to be male or female and it's in its seed form, it should be set. Now, I don't think it could be some kind of feature that the plant itself doesn't determine its sex until a certain date in its growth. I don't know. That's something for a plant scientist to answer, I guess.
Do you think there's certain factors that go into, say, environment or something like that that sways that 50-50 to say, like, more females or more males? You know what I mean? Because there's been a few times I've had a pops and I've had like almost all males. You know what I mean? And I just refuse to believe that, my luck was that bad on that draw that, you know what I mean? Out of the thousands of seeds, I just happened to
Yeah.
get, you know what I mean? So is there batches that lean more towards male and more towards female? Does, like, say, humidity or temperature or shit like that kind of play a part in?
I'm not sure whether it's a mix of certain genetics combined with a certain environment made as big, or just in general. Like I think sometimes like a warmer, drier type environment leads to a higher male ratio. But I don't know if that would be as relevant for something that's naturally grows well in that environment, like a equatorial sativa of some sort. Um, I know, but the plants when they're growing, environmental stresses would cause plants to hermaphrodite, possibly just out in flower, and a chance to try to rapidly reproduce to save themselves, like in a drought situation or something like that. But so I'm not sure if that's. I'm not sure where I'm going with that. I'm so fucking high. That's going to start from seed form. Come if it's something that's going to be predetermined to happen or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always wondered about little things like that, as we get more and more deeper into breeding and stuff like that, if there are sweet spots and shit like that from, you know what I mean, perfect humidity to where the females themselves, like, say, for instance, just playing out a hypothetical situation here, your room is 80 degrees, such and such humidity, and that's the perfect temperature, perfect humidity. They've been fed. The females, the stigmatas are all everything's opened up as wide as possible. You know what I mean? If there's little tricks of best germination.
You got opera music playing in the background. Oh my god, whatever it is, whatever it is the plant's like.
There's a lot to say that isn't quite as far off as you think it is. There's definitely a lot of science to plants reacting to their environment, music and stuff like that. Um, they actually put off
Sonic Bloom.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sonic Bloom's one. They actually I've watched a few things lately. Jake from Midnight Roots was into it. I seen a thing yesterday. They were doing it with mushrooms. So they put off like a pulse. Uh, and depending, like, you could take it's basically a guitar pickup that you put alligator clips on, and you can put it at one part of the plant and then clip it onto another, and it'll make different. It's talking, it's doing shit that it picks up on, and it's weird. And from different parts of the plant, make different, more or less, and even different species or different plants in the same room were making different noises, faster, slower, and whatnot. It's kind of really wild. So yeah, well, when he was doing it, he had it hooked up or fed through like an organ. So like he could change like what we heard. So he could like, okay, it's an oboe. So everything that the plant did was like hitting the instrument, right? And my idea was like to do that, have something like that, but like each plant hooked up to like a different instrument and make like a plant music that you played, you know what I mean? Maybe through the internet or whatever for other plants and shit like that. Kind of like in the Sonic Bloom type mindset, I guess. I don't know. I think it worked.
It's back. There we go.
Is it raining up
Well,
there?
I think he was cutting out on me. No, it's not actually. It's just kind of got nice this afternoon. I don't get it. It's just I just had a better connection the other day.
I
And they
think
keep freezing up on me.
been a lot of solar activity the last few days, and that plays a big part in that shit. That's for sure.
Back on the heating pad anyway, in the back in the living room.
Don't forget to mix that ice in, brother. And I
Oh,
know
get
that,
out of here.
that fucking feel heat always feels good, but we gotta put that add that ice in there too. So don't forget to alternate, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro.
All right, thanks for popping in, man. Hope you feel better. Mr. Joel North Star Genetics popping in. I always appreciate his time. Mr. Dr. DGC Jeff, how you doing? Cheers to you. And I guess I could play with some of the editing stuff since it's just me. Cheers to the 42 cool motherfuckers watching. Someone else hop on. I got 5 more minutes before charging. You hold her down. Cheers, Fall Dog. Pet G smoking some blue cheese. Always fucking good shit right there. I enjoyed my blue cheese. It just wasn't a big enough yielder for me to justify keeping it around, but I definitely enjoyed it while it was in the garden, that's for sure. Martial Artist 2012. Hopefully you're doing well. Diggity dank. What's up? Oh, yeah. Back to my chores here. I gotta finish up the show description. I forgot to fucking put some shit in there the other day. Mr. Robert, Mr. Greenfingers, motherfucking Thomas. And again, a big happy birthday to Ryan Kokowski, hardcore. Hopefully you had a great birthday, my friend. Been a minute since we talked. Go. Copy and paste here. Copy and paste, the easy way to get shit done. There we go. Perfect. Joel has all. He's got quite a few, that's for sure. Marina Family Farms popping in. WEedNerdWorld podcast. Save. There we go. Biosynthetic. Cheers to you. Cheers to anybody I've missed so far. Try to keep up on that shit, but you know, hardcore buddy kilowatts coming in. Now we got some party.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. How you doing?
Doing good.
Nice.
Actually, I missed Joel. Okay, I even came like with his shirt on, the Frisco OG and shit, and then he's gone. Oh.
Mr. Ryan Kokowski's in here. Happy birthday if you could hear us, Ryan.
Happy
Cheers.
birthday.
Thank you.
How was your birthday, man?
Uneventful. I'm alive still, so it was a good day in the end.
Right on. Cheers, buddy. How you doing?
Cheers, bud.
I'm good. Good to see you. I'm gonna add to the energy that the music might bring to your plants, you put off energy and have frequency, and I think that's most important. Like over the years, I've seen a lot of people grow weed, and the best weed comes from the people with the best energy.
I gotta agree with that.
I
Yeah,
just
fuck
watched,
playing music. Let's sing to him.
I think it was a David Attenborough short where he hooked up some wires to a flower, and it would emit like a buzzing noise, and the bees, after a bee would go and collect pollen from a flower, it would change the signal or like the noise that it would output, and a bee would know whether or not if it had pollen available for it, judged by the tone it was making.
That's great. So what you got going in the garden currently? So when I was talking to my last guest the other day there, he was saying that Minnesota's changing the laws. Is that what's going on with that? Will you be legally being able to grow cannabis and not hemp soon?
Well, you can't. I think you always have been able since it became legal. You've been able to grow cannabis yourself, but just not on a commercial scale yet. They still have to get They don't have the office in place yet, but they seem to have reasonable, or like they've got a bunch of proposed like license fees and different like there's like micro business licenses and mezzo business licenses, and facility licenses or whatever, however they go. But like I think the micro business was like 5,000 square feet of canopy or half an acre outdoors for like, I think it was like $500 for the first year, then maybe a grand or 2 grand to renew it every year. And then that also allows you to sell flower at one property, I believe.
Oh shit.
And then like a mezzo business, I think that's like maybe 5 or 10 grand. But that one you can have multiple businesses, and you got a lot bigger footprint too. But
Well, I would try to jump in while they have reasonable uh, regulations, because experience is, oh, it won't stay like that. And then some of the people that got in early, what are the term? You'll be like grandfathered in. Like it does matter. Like even in LA, which so many years ago, there's what's it called, a pre-ICO, or there's some people that have had their thing all the way back to 215 and transition, and it does give them like certain, you know,
grandfathers them in a little bit.
yeah. But that sounds great if it's reasonable. Uh, for whatever reason, probably won't stay that way. Politics will get in, and like you say, they're setting up the office. Yeah, that usually means this company called Metric comes in, and then the state will follow Metric, which is what every other state does. And Metric seems to be some of the problem. Bunch of ridiculous paperwork and ridiculous oversight and stuff like that.
Definitely where it goes wrong. That's for sure.
Well, I remember like one thing, I'm California. So our political thing is long since gridlocked and messed up. Even our Prop 64, oh, it passed whenever. See, some states, I know Colorado, this is years ago, had their legislation had, now some of these were negative things, but they had a healthy enough legislation that they passed new things along the way, right? Whether they're good or bad. California, oh no, it's whatever archaic writing that is Prop 64, that's it. There's no like, oh, we amended, or oh, we this is a better idea, or even if it's a worse idea. No, we don't have a healthy legislation that things like that happen, but some states
Right here, right
do.
now. So it became legal. I think it was in maybe July or August. But right away when it became legal, you can personally grow 8 plants with up to 4 in flower at a time, and that's everyone one per household, or I believe. And then they've got caveats like if it's outdoors, it's got to be in a
Now,
lot
okay,
fenced away from
we're all
public.
growers, so like we would know if a plant's in flowering. But are you telling me that a law enforcement person is going to have the wherewithal to know if a plant is flowering or not? I mean, obviously, if it's
Well,
budding and
it
all
it
that, but
it sounds like there's going to be a cannabis uh I forget what they call it, committee, like a branch of government that does all the regulating, and like they'll
yeah,
probably have their own weed cops or whatever.
every
But
state
also
has one.
here, you can have up to 2 pounds at home, personal, and then I think it's 2 ounces in public. Um, Certain cities already have, public smoking bans or whatever, where you can't smoke within city limits outside. Um, but then like, and also since it started, it's legal to sell it in only in tribal reservations. So they've been
Well,
being able to sell it since last July. And the cannabis fucking branch or whatever, they're not going to be. It's not going to be start. I think they say spring 2025,
I mean, most states
and it's legal to gift it
supposedly
still.
the laws and the what's developed is representative of the people, right? So you see that across the different states have different uh, ideals when it comes to that. Minnesota, I'm not so familiar with, like, but it seems like a freedom loving or like let live and type of state. Maybe I'm wrong. It's not like I don't know of it as being a police state, right?
Here's the different licenses they have here. It's the micro business. The application fee is $500, and no initial license fee, but the renewal license fee is 2 grand. So you pay $500 and then 2 grand every next year. The mezzo business is $5,000 initial license fee, and then renewal is $10,000. Cultivator license is 10 grand. I mean, and then there's an initial fee of 20 grand and a renewal fee for 30 grand. There's the manufacturer ones. There's retailer applications are $2,500. There's wholesaler, transporter, event
Yeah.
organizer.
Well, all those
But the thing that I thought
licenses.
that was kind of dumb about, so if you have, even with the micro business, I think you can have on-site consumption, but no smoking. I wonder if that caveat will be you can smoke outdoors if it's allowed, in public, because you're smoking outdoors in public. I imagine that what the case might be.
Well, I'm not so familiar, but a cultivator license for whatever you said, $10,000 to $30,000 a year. Yeah, I think that's really low compared to other states. Like I don't know because it's not my thing, that legal stuff, but I know that it's like in California, if you're not rolling in with $1 million behind you or more, you're not getting any kind of license. So like if you can get licenses to cultivate for that amount, I mean, yeah, I guess that's pretty reasonable. It's like, is it just that fee, or is there all these other application and da 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 and more? I'm sure there's more things that go along with it. It's just whether it's priced reasonably overall,
The
or if
cultivator fee,
it's a money grab from the state, which a lot of states have. Yeah, like most of us, we would love to have one of these type of businesses, but it's sort of out of, and unless you go in with investor money or a huge amount of money, it's not attainable.
Yeah, for the one for the cultivator is it says 10,000 for application fee. Initial license fee is 20 grand, and the renewal license fee is 30 grand. So basically, you pay 30 grand a year, but you only have to pay, or yeah, you have to pay that every year.
Well, yeah, and probably a tax on the pounds, and there's probably, but
And like
it's
I
priced
know,
probably in a way that oh well, that 30,000 a year gives you whatever amount of space to cultivate and profit, meaning that 30,000 is relatively like a small percentage of your annual, uh, your books. Like, yeah, you're growing $1 million worth of weed and you're paying 30,000 for the license. And I'm sure when Metric and the state, they'll have little fees here and there that tax and it's how they set all that up. And I think new states could look at some of the more mature states and realize that overtaxation has created a problem, and maybe they'll approach it better. Because, like in California, yeah, even brands that were established and worked for many years to establish themselves in California, as things matured, they're now in all these other states and pulled out of California just because, yeah, it was too much of a pain in the ass to operate here.
Seems like every state's got something fucked up, and it's weird that new states, when they come on, don't just take a little bit of what each state did that's good and then implement that. Instead, everything's still all fucked up.
I'm waiting for the first
we got-
state to say no to Metric, which is a private company that provides an inventory system. That's but it becomes much more than that. And that's a lot of what the tax, like, there's a certain amount of the percentage of tax that goes to pay for Metric. And every state has it, Metric. It's spelt like a little different, but it's a publicly traded company. Like, a lot of politicians just so happen to have invested in it way back in the day. It's profitable, but it's a failure. Like, without like giving up other people's game, but I've learned that this impeccable, impenetrable inventory system that they started using 5-6 years ago, Colorado, Cali, different states, all the states, has a lot of holes in it once it is up and going.
and we've
So
had
it'd
like
be
this weird
one
thing
thing
where
if it was such a tight system that it was but it isn't. Like, a lot of backdoor deals happen, a lot of things happen. There's ways
you see
people
stories
get around it.
you see stories in the newspapers here all the time or online, but that so before we went legal for marijuana, we had it was legal to they made a law, I think it was sort of maybe like almost a year where it was legal to have edibles with, you know, so much percent THC. Or I think it's maybe five grams per serving, 5 serving edibles or something like that. But it's still yeah, but the THC had to be derived from legal hemp. So you'd have to use fucking a lot more weed to fucking extract that much out of. But it was
Yeah, I
they
heard
know
that
hemp people that have the license to sell the hemp or the retailers that have the hemp shops, a lot of them are fucking
that guy,
selling the weed, but there's not a
Doctor
cannabis thing to go over them yet. I don't know. It's weird.
Dr. Mark was on a show. He's like a PhD chemist, very smart guy. But I was over my head. But he was explaining how, yeah, with the way the Farm Bill is written, that these operations, mainly in hemp, what we would consider hemp, but they're able to derive THC and THC products out of like, oh, it's a small return on the overall,
Yep. But
but
when you do it in mass
it's more
quantities, it adds up.
profitable, like per whatever. These like, oh, these people somehow have invested in this and been riding this for a few years. They're making billions supposedly.
Oh yeah,
Um,
people. I can't see that other shit.
Since we had the
and
clocks changed, do you guys change your timers forward too, or just as long as it's on 12:12, fuck it? What do
Let it
you
roll.
guys do?
Let it roll.
well, we stay within the the power bill has us rates from like a certain time at night. So yeah, we'll change to run during that time.
Mm-hmm.
But today was like the day I really realized this. I guess it's second day, but yeah, I like this time of year. I mean, if you not everywhere changes, but we sprung forward, so now it's sunnier later, and I don't know. It makes that's the time of year I like. When it gets dark at 5 o'clock, it feels like weird.
Oh, I'm looking so forward to the long days. So forward to long days. And I just want to get back to the metrics thing there. We got a lot of fucking dispos here in Michigan that in-house a lot of their own cannabis. So they grow their own stuff and then shelf it. And then third party, other products as well. But a lot of these dispos in Michigan have been caught, trying to get around the matrix. They're fucking,
Metric, yeah,
yeah, why not?
yeah, yeah.
Huh?
There's fines and
And
yeah,
then how how could they not want to when it's
and a
all
lot of
So many have gotten
cultivators
away.
have gone bankrupt trying to abide in the metric because it takes it's this ridiculous thing of transportation and packaging and as a smaller operator you don't get the same turnaround as a bigger operator, so then you're losing freshness and by the time it gets to market and you can start getting paid, it's all on terms and crazy stuff like that. Even though taxes have to be paid up front. Like it's not like, oh, we'll sell like collect money and then pay taxes from the money you collect. Oh no, no, no. Taxes are paid up front. With yeah, that's a no, I don't think other businesses have to do it that way. You pay taxes when the money comes in. You don't pay taxes before you even plant your crop.
that doesn't seem right. That doesn't
Yeah,
seem
I mean, it seems like it needs to be rehauled. Like, okay, it started at whatever. Now it's mature. Like, but that's our problem. Like, we're so divided. Our politicians are worthless pieces of shit, and it's all about money. And oh well, to do what's right, there's too many people profiting from what's wrong, and they're putting up the money to keep it that way. But in Michigan, it seemed like I just remember Spartan and a few people seemed to have gotten active politically and went down and spoke. And even though some of that shit seemed ridiculous waste of time, oh, that's our system. Like it's not going to happen unless those are the kind of things that make it happen. If everyone participated more as activists to whatever a better way, well, we probably still wouldn't win because they have a lot more money than we have. That's it.
this last couple of years here in Michigan, man, they have really fucking outed a lot of people that took bribes and shit in the beginning days of cannabis and getting their license. So there was a small headhunt there, and
Yeah.
where the money went.
Well, I can already imagine that within Metric, which is okay, now it's a job. you got hired inside this company, and it's been a few years. I'm sure it's corrupt. I'm sure that there's people who have figured out ways and who to pay off within that system to benefit them. That's just the way. Like, I think 100 years from now, they're going to look back at this era we're living in and like call it like the era of corruption. Like, corruption is king in everything. Like, we just accept it. And pretty much across the board. And cannabis is no different. Some people get caught sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's just like they say at the border. Sometimes the cartel lets one load get caught while the big load's coming through. So like, yeah, when there's a story, it's usually, yeah. I always think that way. I'm a skeptic.
How many years young are you, Ryan? You're muted.
41.
You're fucking young, dude.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Lucky fuck.
Hell yeah.
Be 41 again, right, buddy?
Yeah, but I remember, like, okay, each decade's kind of a thing. I remember as I was getting older, out of all the different birth, 40 was like the one that I like, oh my God, I'm 40. Like 30, oh yeah, you just rolled through it. And then there's 50 and 60. Last year was 60. But 40, I remember it being like, oh, yeah, somewhere you have to think, well, I mean, even maybe today it's not quite, or you might be lucky to reach that, but that's like halfway. Somewhere it's like, oh, you got to look at life a little different. Like, yeah. Now everybody's different with that, especially today. They say, like, what is it? The 40's the new 60 or something. I guess I feel that way.
40's the new 60?
or
the other way around. 60's the
60's
new
the
40.
New 40. Or
They got
it
older, buddy.
If you're 80, you're like more like 40 or something. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. There is this. A couple people I love dearly are like in their late 70s into the 80s, and yeah, that seems like the late 70s and 80s. There's no like maybe there's somebody that still seems like they're in their 50s when they're 80, but I don't know anybody like that.
If I can still fuck like Bud when I'm a million, I'll be just fine.
Yeah. Hey, you just get up and keep going. Like, some of it I think is like, I have some friends my age that did it different. They had like a job, a career, kids. They did all the, and they're retired. Like, but then that comes with its own weirdness. You know, it's not all of them retired that rich or anything, but they're retired. And then, yeah, over the years, I mainly like as a grower, I've realized, no, I'm a lifer. Like I don't know. Like, is there a point where you're like, yeah, I guess. I mean, if you got to the what point is that? Like, if your health has declined to the point you can't take care of yourself, then you probably can't take care of a plant. But pretty much you should be able to take care of a plant. Like, even the oldest people still have pets.
Right.
Well, pets a lot more work than a plant.
Retirement to me is quitting something you didn't want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you were doing something you loved, you'd want to do that to the day you fucking died. If you could.
Exactly.
Huh?
Now, my favorite musician, Phil Lesh, bass player, this week is his 85th birthday. He's doing a run of shows. He played on the 4th and the 6th already. And on the first night, toward the end of a 3-hour show, he almost fell down as he was singing a song. Then they had to bring a stool. He was kind of sliding out of the stool. A long time ago in early 2000 at a brunch, I remember asking him, like, this was already like post Jerry, like, oh, you ever going to retire or whatever? And he looked me dead in the face and said, if I'm standing, I'm playing. Okay, we're witnessing that. Same with Willie Nelson. Same with a few other artists. It depends who you like. I've gone to a few shows and felt sad because, even though, mentally, I guess they're still there and hey, they can still play. Yeah, like you're watching them decline. Like, once you get into the 80s, wow, there's some serious, like, physical, like, even poor Phil, like, he's so fragile looking, and even when he walks, he doesn't use any help, but it looks like he's just like one little thing away from falling and breaking a hip. Right? But yeah, he's 85, but still does a few shows. Oh, he doesn't play every night, can't do that. And sometimes they're shorter overall. They're not like 3.5, 4 hours, more like 2.5, 3 hours. But that's still quite a long time. Yeah, I don't know. I like, in this weird way, you're like, what? Oh, there's a guy named Colonel Bruce Hampton. He was a musician, maybe not that famous, but hardworking musician. He literally died doing a show. Died right on stage, like he said he was gonna. Right during the show, it happened. It's like you can actually. I think it's still up on YouTube, or maybe it's that part of it's been taken out. But yeah, I don't know. Mixed feelings about that. Like I don't know if anyone else relates to what I'm saying, but like Willie, oh, he's in his 90s and he has emphysema and is short of breath. So when he's singing and you watch close, you can see that, oh yeah, he's gasping for air. He can't get enough air to sing. Right. And oh, he's fragile when they bring him up and he sits down when he plays. And he does the songs are really short, but he does a lot of them because he has like 100 hits. But man, he's out there probably tonight somewhere. Well, it's Monday night. Constantly. I don't know. I don't know if anyone hears what I'm saying, but
I do, yeah. I get it. And it's the same.
now, hey, last year I saw the Rolling Stones. Mick Jagger's in his 80s too. You would appreciate this. He plays in football stadiums, so I don't know how wide, what's that, 50 yards across, right? Now it's a stage, so maybe it's not, but it's roughly 50 yards, and he has at least 50 yards where he can run out into the crowd. And that shows like 3 hours. No, maybe it's 90 minutes, one long set. That guy doesn't stop running. He goes from one side to the other side to this side, and he sings. Now, it's not always the greatest sounding like him anyway, but he's never short on breath, right? Somehow, yeah. I couldn't believe it. Now he's so skinny that you think he's just all bones and he looks like a skeleton. But he must, I don't know how many miles, he must run like a 5K or 10K in a show because he just never stops. He just runs the whole time. And
I've got a cousin that does I've got one cousin that does the Ironman marathon or whatever. Like, he's actually got a big story behind him too. Like, he's been on ESPN and all that shit about COVID shit.
That is the gnarliest thing to do, isn't it? The Ironman, because you got to swim,
so
bike, and run.
I've got another cousin on my dad's side that I've got like 40 some cousins, I think, 40 first cousins. They he does ultra marathons on bicycles. They're like 1,400-mile races. And then all winter he trains on fat tire bikes in the snow.
That shit ain't no joke, man. That long distance shit ain't no joke. People that fucking do them triathlons and shit like that, fucking crazy. It's mentally tough and that physically demanding. That shit's insane.
It's been a lot of years, but I remember seeing this whole thing on the Iditarod and the training of the dogs. And then you realize, wow, I mean, it's like that's up there. Like those dogs are doing things like up there is ultra marathon or Ironman, but they're just a dog. But like their performance, like the top to be one of the top dogs and breeds and good at that. Oh, they do something that's pretty gnarly.
We had some like they were Iditarod racers up in Alaska or whatever, and I remember the one of the ladies fucking she ate a stick of margarine in front of us, and she said we had to do this to keep our body fat up because it was so cold. I don't know. She's kind of maybe being sarcastic about it, but
no,
eat a stick of
like ultimately when it's cold, especially your body is basically burning fat. Like so, like yeah, like whether it's meat fat, oil, whatever, butter, fat, margarine, fat.
Yeah, definitely carbs and stuff like that are good for a good cold run and shit like that.
I just remember this one survival show where the dude fucking jumped on the back of a fucking moose and killed the moose with a knife. And he looked like he was going to win the $1 million. He had like 10 years worth of moose that he fucking smoked. He was living like a king. The rest of the people were dropping like flies because they were fishing or whatever. In the end, they medically pulled this guy and explained that, oh, moose has no fat. He used the part of the moose that had the fat, the brain and certain backstrap or whatever, or in the first month. But in the later months, he was just eating this meat that had no fat. And they pulled him out medically because of that.
What are we looking at there, sir?
Oh, a nice mix.
As you gave up.
I know, right? I actually have most of that stuff cloned, but there's the Darkwood from Joel North Star, and there's a 5555, which is cherry pie crossed with Darkwood, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what I get out of those because I already grew a Darkwood and it was really good. I know Joel was just fucking around with his Darkwood. I think he made a bunch of crosses with it too, but it's actually a really good strain. It's a good producer. I couldn't get it to re-veg back though, and I'm really good with so like if I find like I'm not taking cuts at anything unless I grow it all the way to the end, sample it out of the herbs now, and then I figure out if I like it or not, and then I'll take a cut in full flower from the bottom, you know what I mean, and re-veg it. But that one I couldn't get that. It sucks. So I got another shot. I got another seed. So it's actually this plant right here. This is let me see if I can zoom in. It's got it's not good focus, but it's got that type of the curly ramen noodle looking pistils, not the ones that stand straight up, kind of like that would, you know what I mean? And from when I see those ramen noodle like curly pistils, it usually grows like dense ass buds. Hopefully I get something good.
Nice. Looks good.
Yep. I'm on a harvest break because I just finished a week's worth of harvest, and I made my wife trim it all this weekend. Put it at work too.
You smoke it, you put your hand on the scissors. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Speaking of which, or since we're ballers on a budget, fucking dollar store and get these like shears right here, needle point pruners, $1.25 all day long. You get a stack of them.
You use it
They
for
work
an
good.
hour and then you gotta throw it away.
No, they actually work really good. You just stick it in some, just like you would on some like a good pair. You just throw it in the alcohol and clean it up. Matter of fact, these are all dollar store ones that I'm soaking right now in the cup. Fuck, am I gonna go spend $20, $100 on some stupid shit? Works the same.
I've had some scissors I've owned for a very long time though. Fucking Diamond Cutco scissors. It's probably one of my favorite bands. Them fuckers come ridiculously sharp and stay ridiculously sharp for a long period of time. The quality of the steel, just like a knife you buy, and a Fisker's another quality blade. Just like anything else you buy, there's a quality of steel that's going to undoubtedly dull. On a knife, you want a minimum of 440. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah,
and
I
so,
got
and
the Fiskars, the big daddies to cut the stalks.
I've actually dealt with Fiskars where I have broken some of my larger like pruners and shit, the ones that you cut like 2, 3 inches, like a lopper that you cut 2, 3 inches with. Fucking broke the blade right off that bitch and fucking got a hold of Fiskars. They fucking mailed me 3 extra fucking blades, no problem and shit. Customer service was amazing. Your favorite brand, obviously, there, right?
Yeah, these ones I've lost the springs on them, but you can get good at them just using them without the spring. I don't know.
I like the cheap. I've went both ways with the springs, man. I've got fucking somewhere around here a ton of scissors, fucking, but they are I find counterproductive because they fatigue your hand a little bit more. You don't have to fucking open them every time, but you have to go through the physical effort to squeeze them every time. And over time, that fatigues your hand. So the chupacabras just follow the natural movement of your hand so much better to where you're not even actually putting in a fucking effort to open them up. So these days I kind of lean more towards the chupacabra type scissors than I do the spring loaded scissors.
I thought of a good idea a while back, and I was waiting for like Easter for those disgusting marshmallow peeps to come around. Not to eat them though. I wanted to float them in the hot cup of hot chocolate. I thought it would be good. Come to find out, it doesn't matter how hot the hot chocolate is, peeps don't fucking melt.
I've been meaning to try to find. I was gonna fucking melt a Cadbury egg over ice cream, but I,
These are the ones.
Peeps are
Chocolate ice cream
indestructible.
over Cadbury egg. That's not super sweet. Holy shit.
I was thinking on vanilla, but yeah,
It's your birthday, brother. You fucking eat what you want, man. Sounds fucking delicious. I've never tried it. I do like fucking Cadbury eggs, so delicious. So have you guys started to pick out Buddy or Ryan? Have you guys started picking out your outdoor?
I've
I
got
have
some things coming to me, but otherwise I've just got a bunch of um that Cheryl crosses that I want to rifle through and see if anything came up worth fucking going down the rabbit hole with.
I'm just putting two plants out this year. I'm doing Tri-Fi Sunday, and but I am gonna put out at the very beginning of like summertime. I'm gonna put out a couple of autos my buddy was all about like 5 years ago. I had kicking around just to see.
I do got a lot of blueberry muffin seeds from last year that are. I had a lot of, well, not a lot of pollen, but I had some pollen floating around, so I just got a bunch of mystery seeds too with my weed. But works for me. Give me something to do. But I do have a lot of like that Cheryl. I hit her with fucking all sorts of shit.
I'm not sure why I did this last year. I think it's because I'm like a seed fiend or something. But I fucking harvested like probably like 15,000 yucca plant seeds. Like I have no idea why. Ain't no one he fucking want them.
Yucca plant. There's good things that fucking a yucca does, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't
but ain't
know
no one
what
looking. Ain't no one want them though. Not
the
counting
name of the
selling them.
seeds were, but they were from that plant that as a kid I knew as the gypsum ball plant that I had on my old property. And my one worker, Lindsay, used to collect them and she would sell them on Etsy for years. These seeds, they're kind of like big. And yeah, somehow she found out that if you boil a tea with a certain amount of those seeds, it's like people can try to commit suicide with it. And she had a thing where it was 20 seeds, and and she sold a few over the years. But then someone emailed her one day and wanted to buy 7 seeds only. And that was the amount that it took to make the tea. And it freaked her out. And she stopped. She's like, she stopped it. But then she passed it on to Jody, my other worker, and said, yeah, just don't sell 7 because that's somebody that might be trying to commit suicide. They're called, I forget what they're called, but they grow like they're like wild. They just pop up places. There's a name for the seed. I call it gypsum balls because as a kid, like we were teenagers. If you made a tea with those balls, yeah, it's strychnine. That's what's in the plant. And the time we got high in it, we were like talking to people that weren't there. And then for like 3 or 4 days, I couldn't read newspaper type. Everything was blurry. And then I was worried, but it came back. Yeah, don't mess with gypsum balls.
I wonder if that's what the major sees all the time.
Eagle,
Yeah,
remember last show I told you guys that some fucking lady crashed in front of my house. I don't know if you remember that story.
Yeah.
So yesterday I'm pulling into my driveway and there's like a car in front of my house. And when I got out of the car, some like heavy hitter lady got out. And she was like, my friend crashed in front of your house a couple days ago. And she wanted me to tell you, like, thank you for calling 911 and pretty much like we saved her life and all kinds of stupid shit. And I was like, how is the lady? And she's like, oh, she's in rehab now. And I was like, oh shit, see, I fucking knew it. That lady was fucked up. I knew it.
Yeah, you would think. Most people, they're fucking hitting mailboxes in the middle of the day.
She didn't even hit the mailbox. She went through the mailbox and not even putting the brakes on, just into a pile of trees. She's lucky that she didn't die. The car actually bounced back. It didn't even like smush into the tree. It like bounced back.
Still working with the horses, buddy?
Yeah. We got a couple new tiny horses a week or so ago. So they've been kind of, well, they were rescued from Texas. So they were a little skittish, but they like these little cookies. they're like little grain cookies. So I've been getting to know them, and yeah, the normal. Well, now that the sun stays out later, yeah, my days just longer. You still start at the same time in the morning, but I realize, oh, I used to be done at like 5:30. Now the sun's still out at 7. I'm still doing shit. It's a long day. I guess that's why the time change was instituted, like farmers back in the day, for they could get more shit done during the day.
I think so. I think it's all geared towards outdoor work, people working outdoors.
Yeah.
I'm glad for the time change. Love the longer days.
Well, I keep hearing stories that they're taking it away soon, but then it's still here, so I don't know.
I got a big fucking project I got to do ahead of me. I'm sponsoring an event. It's not till August, but I gotta make up 600 packs for the event to like give to the event for a sponsorship thing, which is kind of like a huge time consuming pain in the ass.
Sounds like 600 lucky people, though.
Yep. And this place is it's fucked up too, because like goes back to the licensing shit. Like a lot of these events are slowly the regular home grower person is getting faded out. It's all licensed companies, dispensaries and shit. I'm actually the only unlicensed brand that will be there, which is kind of cool. I snuffed out the competition. I'm the only seed person now. This is going to be a big show. It's going to be sick too. Excited to have the flyer go out, which should be going out in a couple of weeks.
When is it?
It's this year's Trip Town Throwdown. It's going to be, there's a big location change, which is going to be key to everything. And it's also the music lineup. This is going to be the best one so far this year. And all I got to say is for all those Wu-Tang heads out there, so that's the clue.
That's the glue. Very much looking forward to the events coming.
You know, they're fucking around with over here too. I don't know if I brought this up before, but like, say the home grower wants to enter a competition now. Now they're making it hard because where you're supposed to drop your event off was a common ground, just like it was a consumption lounge. But now the Cannabis Control Commission's fucking around because it's an unlicensed facility. And now, even though the competitors technically gifting an ounce and the judge is receiving an ounce as a gift. There's no like.
Yeah, you can gift here legally. I wonder what the most draconian name is for the Cannabis Control Committee or Commission or.
They're just making everything harder for the regular person. Uh-oh, buddy's muted. But yeah, they're making it harder for every regular person that wants to be involved in anything. And you have to be a licensed millionaire to do anything. It's fucked up.
Here for the micro business, it says you can. I'm reading the case or the case law text right now. It says
no, that's not even worth it now over here.
Mature. You can make concentrate. You can make artificially derived cannabinoids. You can manufacture adult use product and fucking edibles and all that shit.
Market's flooded with that already.
Purchase plants from another micro business, meso business manufacturer, or wholesaler. You can, let's see here. You can package and sell. You can sell immature plants and seedlings. You can operate an establishment that permits the on-site consumption of edible products. and lower potency hemp edibles. And you can see the micro business is 5,000 square feet of plant canopy, or yeah, there's another. I think they also said up to half an acre outside. Um, where you can operate one retail location, and that one was $500 for the first year, and then $2,000 for the next years. And like the Mesno, yeah, I'll see what the Mesno one was.
Seems
That one
like
was like
easy and a nice entry level for the average guy. Anyway. They're not
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
too
5,000 square feet. I mean, you can get away with a lot of damage with that
yeah.
for $500 first year. You do have to like set up a kind of basically like a business plan and tell how much you're gonna you got to have the facility ready and fucking legit and shit.
That's the easy part, I think. The most like in
Yeah,
Michigan,
you got to.
hurdles so big, man. They discouraged a lot of the caregivers from ever even thinking about getting into the larger scale.
And you just got to meet the requirements. Don't got to exceed them.
Yeah, they, the micro business here in Michigan was definitely uh, made it, you know, feasible anyway for the serious small caregiver that wanted to go into it. I think it was at one point 5,000. They raised it to 10, but still to be able to grow 100 plants and process everything yourself and be able to get things into the matrix if necessary. I didn't think that was all bad. To be completely self-sustained.
Then the mezzo business, it's you can have up to 15,000 square feet of canopy, but you can also have multiple business locations with that one.
That's why we grow our own, so we don't have to deal with any fucked up dispensary stupid shit, right?
More people should grow their own just for quality. Like we said earlier, man, that shit definitely feeds off our vibes and stuff like that. So why wouldn't you put your own goodness into your flower?
I mean, you could just kind of, fuck, I don't know. I was just thinking of like if you're to sell yourself, three little parcels of land within your property and then give them to your, I don't know.
We got 1 month till we start events again. It's
Yeah,
fucking the winter seemed too long.
next month's fucking hash bash here in Michigan. We're talking about activism here in Michigan or activism in general, but hash bash, what, April 6th here in Michigan. It's one of those things too. I want a hash bash, not the hash bash cup there, because there's two different separate things there. The hash bash cup kind of piggybacked on the initial event itself. And I think a lot of people now, when they think of the hash bash, just think of the cup. I was down there last year and was kind of really let down. It was a little bit cold, but man, I've been down there many, 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 many years. And the activism here is gone. You know what I mean? The people that really put on the fight and shit are still putting on the fight. It's not necessarily over. We haven't, we're not able to participate in the market or even be able to grow on a home scale and be able to participate in a farmer's market. And like you're saying, and even in some of these cups, you know what I mean? Just because we're not a large scale business doesn't necessarily mean you can't grow a fire that can compete against the big boys. That shit's stupid, but it continues here in Michigan. So I'd like to see more people at the actual hash bash this year. Speaking of activisms, real people that goes down to the board meetings and shit like that. Buddy Dalton will be here tomorrow. He puts on the Cloud Cultivation Cup, and that's been very instrumental in keeping home grows available in his area, Flushing there right from the get from here in Michigan tried to pinch off the home grows in their city. You could be a fucking cannabis user, medical cannabis user, but they didn't want you to grow your own cannabis. And people like Buddy fought tooth and nail to fucking keep people fucking be able to grow in Genesee County. And so I got a lot of respect for the people that actually don't show up for the fame. You know what I mean? For the photo op, but to do the fucking activism daily, behind the scenes, fucking all the time. Because it is very easy for a lot of people to show up in front of the camera and fucking, yeah, I was here. But there's a lot of fucking work that gets done on the daily too that people just don't realize, Still.
I want to see how wide I can spread these bitches out to see how much to get that within that 4 plant count. But I also want to do like that Frankenstein grafting where like there's like fruit trees where they graft 40 different fucking types of fruit on the same tree.
Are you gonna
Like,
grab a bunch of shit together? That'd be cool.
just veg forever and just get that thing fucking size of a house. Well, I don't know. I'm fucking got greenhouses on my mind.
Eagle, did you ever teach your daughters how to drive? Was it you that had to do that?
Yeah, I taught one, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it yesterday. That was an instant high killer.
Ooh, yeah, that. So did they have the ultimate trust in dad? That was my problem with trying to teach. Well, I guess two. I tried. First one I did teach all the way to the license. The second one, we can drive, but she just didn't want to fucking get her license. But the oldest daughter, when we were driving and I would tell her to turn, she would or stop up here or whatever. Everything I said was like gold. So stop was like now, stop now. That's it. No, up here where there's a driveway, not randomly. No, I'd never do that again. I'd never. Oof, that was rough.
I felt bad for so I had my driving test with one of my buddies that I hung out with quite a bit, and but he was a fucking horrible driver. Like he'd never been in, like at one point, like he wouldn't he wouldn't let him drive on the highway out of town. Like he fucking like I think he failed his test pretty much, and he's like, okay, you're not driving anymore. I don't know if he failed and I didn't say that, but like he only drove for like fucking like 5 or 10 minutes maybe. And with me, he took me out on the highways outside of town. He had me fucking it was like a brand new car. He had me stop in the middle of the highway and fucking floor it, and I screeched the tires so he could see if I could control it when it's fucking doing a fucking burnout. It was fucking crazy, man. He's like letting me fucking because I had like by the time I was 6 or 15 or whatever I was taking the test, I was fucking pretty proficient driver already. Like I was whipping my Banshee around corners at fucking 80 and shit, fucking big corners. I don't know, gravel corners.
That'd be fun. I lived
Remember
in
when
myself.
we were younger, pushing my buddy's parents' car in neutral down the road and then starting it so they don't hear us. They're like
Yeah.
stealing the car. We have fucking no clue what we're doing. All stupid and shit. Driving around, smoking, flying through the woods. I'm surprised we didn't die doing that because we had no clue what the fuck we were doing.
When I was 12 years old, we had a fucking it was a Chevy fucking conversion van. It's like kind of like one of the like it had like the chessboard and shit that you would set up in the back. Like it was kind of fancy. It had we had like an aftermarket like little mini TV in there, so we were pretty high class back then. But no, so we fucking I used to take it when my parents would be out of town, and there was a gravel road right on the edge of town that was like a really sharp turn that had like a fucking the ditch like went down like 20 feet, and it was a perfect spot to whip it around because I was just fucking addicted to whipping my ass end around corners with fucking my four-wheeler and shit, dirt bikes and whatnot. So I was sitting there going around this corner all these times, and apparently the homeowner had called him in or whatever, or called me in. Um, or no, there was a state trooper that lived, and he saw me and he watched me do it, and they came to my house like later that night. It was like fucking 4 hours later, and they just talked with my parents. I don't even think he'd even talked to me. He just talked to my parents about it and then left, and like they grounded me. My dad kind of like had a smile, like, look, I don't know, you must have said something about fucking whipping the van around the corner and shit. Like, I did it, cause I did it like I hit that corner like fucking 30 times, just go around the block, hit the corner again.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off here, but it was nice talking to you guys.
You
Peace
too,
and love,
man.
weed nerds.
Cheers.
We
Yeah.
Out
Have a good one, Miranda.
later.
later. It is getting close to that third time. Yeah, fuck it.
I got caught. So around that, a few years after that, I got clocked going 90 on a tar road with my four wheeler, my Banshee, and I was like, I had a buddy that lived like 4 miles from me, and I'd already made it like fucking, I'd made it like maybe 3 miles, and um he made me push my four wheeler to my, well, that's what he told me to do. He told me to push my four wheeler to my friend's house, and this is a fucking
What's a
600. I don't know
banshee?
it's a Yamaha, like their racing four wheeler, fucking 350cc, twin cylinder, fucking. It was
It's like a off-road thing.
yeah. Oh yeah,
I
fucking.
got it.
But I
So,
had one from when I was young, but it was and it yeah, it was
so you
shit.
used to just shred around all the back roads on your Banshee.
A lot of it was in the woods. We had like fucking a lot of the neighbors had like data trails. They call it. I guess what they call them. Fucking. There's like local snowmobile trails in the summer, but they just have trails in the woods. And then there was sand pits nearby that we went to a lot. But, I just 'cause I lived out in the country, but and like there's fucking a lot of private sand pits and a lot of fucking
So wait, let's get back to today's your birthday.
yep.
Did you have a good meal or anything? Treat yourself? Anything?
Not really. Nothing special.
Yeah. Well, it's not too late.
Doesn't hurt to spoil yourself once a year, minimum. No. Well, boys, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. I gotta fucking stand up. I ran 10 miles before the show in my ass.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that's probably not a good idea, right? You stiffen up.
Oh, I'm stiff as a board. I'm stiff as shit right now.
Do you ever take
Well, it was
potassium
good
pills?
hanging. Happy birthday, Ryan,
Thank
and
you.
everyone out in chat. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for
Thank you,
popping.
Eagle.
You're welcome. Thank you for popping in, brother.
Yeah.
Have a great
Have you ever
week.
taken potassium pills for that shit?
Oh yeah. I take potassium, I take magnesium. Sometimes I drink pickle juice. I drink fucking apple cider vinegar to help with the cramps. Uh, yes. Magnesium sprays work very well for muscle cramps too. But on top of that, all I use a shit ton of topicals nightly. Seriously. Followed by night every night I do a hot chocolate RSO on top of it all. Kind of
Take
keep
some Midol with that too, just to ease it up a little bit.
take some what?
My doll.
No, no,
Oh,
I'm, I don't speak a lot about it, but I had a lot of my family growing up and friends die because of pharmaceutical drugs. So to even get me to take Motrin or anything is like pulling teeth. I do take a lot of supplements, but I don't outside of like supplements, and even supplements can be really dangerous if you're not know what you're taking and taking too much.
no, I was
But
just making a menstrual cramp joke.
ah, yeah, no, I'm sure that could help though. Funny though. No.
All right.
Uh,
Well, you have a good night.
you too. Happy birthday. I'm glad you popped in, man. Honored.
Thanks again.
Yeah. Glad to spend some time with you on your birthday. With that being said, that wraps this one up. Episode 835.1. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this one as much as I have. I hope you all have a great week. I appreciate all you guys that take time out to still hang out, watch the show, participate and chat, leave comments, all that good shit. Really appreciate you guys more than all you guys will ever know. That being said, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Have a great week. I'll see you tomorrow night, Buddy Dalton, File Cultivation. Wednesday night, Mark Leafley Hills, Vancouver's Growers Guild. Thursday nights, a Weed Nerd World. And then, of course, Friday, the organic weed or the organic wormhole with our guest, Chris Trump this week. Saturday is an off day. Sunday's a race day. If you're in Bay City and want to watch me fucking run my ass crazy, Bay City,